So I'm gonna just jump on and talk a little bit about something called Fail of the Day. It's a cultural tool to help us rewire our perceptions. It comes from the nature culture. Well, where I learned it is from the nature culture connection camps and Eight Shields work and all that kind of stuff by a man named John Young, Jon, Young as in young, not old. You can look it up, John Young Nature Connection. You'll find videos and fascinating stories. Who's worked with the San Bushmen, the Kalahari Bushmen, and all different tribes and lineages around the world. That are, there's a movement to bring back deeply connective practices, and in Britain we lost that when the Romans invaded. Things that are deeply connected with nature and therefore the life around us that supports us living here, and other aspects of creation, right? It's honoured in these lineages and worked with. Anyway, I digress, but you can look at it, it's fascinating work. It feeds the soul and the body and the mind and everything to come into a more aligned and connective state. And one of the tools from that is Fail of the Day. Now this came up for me yesterday. We have a emotional awareness mastery call that's a part of the program at Host. If you've not seen any of the work on my videos before, this is a shadow work transformational program with emotional health coaches such as myself and others in the platform, where we look at the deep dark truths of humanity, and sometimes that can feel depressing and feel like it's dragging us down, but the truth is it's already inside of us and it's already heavy. And so what arose was talking about the burden that humanity is carrying with that. And just out of me came this, hey, it's a celebration, right? I mean, that might sound absolutely crazy, and maybe I am, but I think it's the good crazy, because what an honour it is to know that I've stepped in to this work, that I can look in the face. The more inner work I do, the more I can look things in the face and truly see them and feel them. This darkness, this heaviness, this shadow that humanity is carrying is inside every one of us. And to look at that, I just felt this honour and celebration that, wow, we get to experience the darkest of the dark in the universe, right? In all of humanity, we get to look at it and go, holy, right? This is inside of me. And what a journey, what an absolute honour. And yeah, it's going to be painful, but it's also showing us the light, that we can go through that and come out the other side and say, wow, that was a part of me that was afraid of dying, but I'm still here. Whatever this is, this consciousness is still here. And that belief, that part of me, that personality, that perspective died. And that's incredible. But to know that I have come to this planet, this may not resonate, with some of you, and that's okay. This is my perspective. I hope it can still feed you in some way. But to know that I have voluntarily come to this planet, this is my lived experience. I feel this so deeply. I came here for a reason, and that reason is to see and show others the trappings that we are living in, and to help free us all from that. And that requires doing the work myself first, but now doing it in tandem with, I'm still on a journey, of course I am. I'm a human with 28 years of programming, so much childhood trauma, so many things from a disconnected culture, right? That can't just be done overnight, and it can't be done in the 9 months that I've been with the Host platform, but I've made a damn good amount of headway. And my capacity to sit with the dark and sit with the things in others that are really messed up and not bat an eyelid, because I've looked at it in myself, is so profound. And it's such an honour to see the messed upness. Honestly, you're all a bit messed up. And in fact, some of us are majorly messed up. I'm messed up, but I'm healing. I'm becoming more whole, and you can too. And it's not a moral failing to be messed up. This is the world we live in, and that's okay. In fact, it's worthy of celebrating. To be the ones in the universe, the animals don't do this, the trees don't do this, not consciously like we do. We get to experience that and see it for what it is. To know that I'm experiencing such a deep, dark part of life, and to see it for what it is, and then help return it to its divine unity, as I would say, this alignment, to break the illusion that what's dark is only dark, and in fact what's dark is just deeply condensed light. There's wisdom and lessons in it, and there's joy and love and beauty, and to hold it in such high regard, because it's a pathway, at least so far, to people's, what I would call, awakening. That most of us only awaken when we're in such pain that some part of us can't help but reach out, because there's nothing left that we can do. And somehow in that we contact something. We become aware of something that gives us such a feeling of profound peace. I know many who are watching this have probably experienced this themselves. That there's something beyond, a higher power, as some people call it. I'm not sure I'd choose those words, because it's not higher, or the way many people use the word power is a power over dynamic, and I don't want to encourage that. It's not separate from us, but it's here. We experience it as separate because we're stuck in this individual human form, but we can start recognizing the oneness that's in everything. I might be losing some of you here, but so to bring it back to just being a raw human, if I can sit with someone and say, yeah, I know that pain, I've been through it, whether or not I've been addicted to cigarettes or heroin, it really doesn't matter, because I haven't been addicted to either of those. But I know the pain of addiction. I know my compulsions. I know the things that have driven me to avoidance, to scrolling on my phone. Phone addiction is the same as any other addiction. It's part of us that's avoiding something. And to have felt into, and still be feeling into, the deep pain and darkness that's behind and within that. This need, honestly, to just not be alone is massive. Addiction, I heard this recently, and I completely agree, because it's something that I've seen in myself, which is that addiction, sorry, I'm just trying to think of the guy's name. It was John Bygraves. I can't remember if I'm saying that right. He does amazing healing sessions. I've yet to experience them, but I've seen his work and I've heard the testimonials. Listened to him talk recently with David, so I will be attending his things. Anyway, just to give credit to him where I can remember the name. But this awareness that actually... Hold on, I've lost it. I'm going to pause. That addiction is the opposite side of the coin to connection. So what we're seeking in addiction is connection, but it's the illusion of connection. It's this thing gives me dopamine and gives me this, and a distraction from the pain, and binge watching TV shows so that we don't feel lonely, because somehow we build in our minds and our subconscious a relationship with the characters, and we love these characters, but the characters aren't real. They're not real. It's a person, an actor, actress that is playing a part in a TV show, and yet we form chat rooms on Reddit or Facebook groups or anything about these characters, and I loved this, and this should have ended up with here, and it's like, well, it's not even real, right? Sorry to burst your bubble. It's about as real as me. That's who I believe myself to be. So these addictions give us some semblance of an idea of connection, and that's what we're seeking, right? I've no idea where I started talking about addictions or why, or where I was going with it, but that was it, because of the relatability, right? It all comes from the same pain of disconnection. It's hurt, it's betrayal, it's abandonment, it's neglect. It's the part of me that feels so separate and alone and ashamed and guilty and fearful, and all of these things. It boils down to the same pain. There's only so much trauma And only so many categories of trauma on the planet. So whatever you've been through, it all boils down to the same wounds. Outright abuse, actual abuse. Can't say the full word because I might get, I don't know, censored. What we got? Neglect, abandonment, abuse, physical, mental, emotional, actual abuse. I'm trying to think if there's another one I've missed. But those cover most of it. And so what we work with is those wounds, and we begin to see that everyone is just a deeply hurt human, figuring their way through life, bumbling their way through life. Most of us aren't any older than 7 or 8 years old. I've heard that said by other professional, psychologists or whatever on Instagram as I'm scrolling, right? But it's true. I see it so much now. It's so true, because I know that I have been my inner baby who's completely incapable of carrying out adult tasks. But I've been frozen in my inner baby for 28 years. Why? Because I faced such trauma as a baby / toddler / child that parts of me are frozen in that and they can't move out of it. Not without loving care and attention and holding and nurturing, and to have to create that for myself or find resources in the world that can give that to me. That can teach me what that feels like so I can emulate that, and to seek out the people that can hold that, because we don't need to do this alone. We can't do this alone. That's it. So I don't know if that sounded like a complete sentence or not, but it feels complete to me. We can't do this alone. I'm going to link host down below. I'll find a link for John Young. I'll put it in a comment because I need to search it. What can I search and then add to I'll link it somewhere. John Young's work, host. Because these things interlink massively. They're different perspectives on healing the world, bringing it back into alignment, and they work in different ways. Yeah. It's an honour to see the darkness, because I was going to talk about fail of the day. That's what it was. This was long. 13 minutes. Well done, Christopher. I can talk. Fail of the day. Celebrate the darkness. Because it's how we grow currently. We grow through love as well, of course. That's undeniable. But so much so we're stuck in the patterns that the only way we can learn is through the darkness, through facing the darkness, harvesting the wisdom, letting it move through and have its voice, and then we learn what we actually need, which is the love, the connection, the empathy, the attunement, the freedom. So that's my invitation, is celebrate the darkness, celebrate what's holding you back, and you may just find that it shifts because you start to honour it. You start to see it for what it is, which is just a pattern of self-protection, very often, most often, just some part of you protecting itself. That's it. And when you meet that part, you give it what it needs, genuinely needs, not what you think it needs, but listen, and it will give you signals in your body, in your emotions, in your subconscious. It will communicate in a way that you can understand it when you tune in. Celebrate the pain for the experience of life that it brings. The deep understanding of human nature comes from both seeing the divine and seeing the pain that comes with disconnection from the divine. Seeing those patterns. Yeah. And when you understand that, you begin to see more and more clearly, and it's a journey, of course. There's more surrender needed. We think we understand, and we have to let go of some attachment to a perspective, and then have to let go of that. Not that it's wrong anymore. It may be wrong, or it may just be seen that it's kind of right, but it's limited. Or that that maybe the thing we were seeing, believing that we knew, what we were seeing was right, but we interpreted it through a certain lens. Anyway, so that seems like another conversation. And I won't be having that conversation today. So, well, not right now. So, thank you for watching and listening, and yeah, I'd love to hear what resonates with you from this. Have a blessed day.